it. That means it's time for the one. It's time for the two.
Dose.
And it's time for the welcome back to the Truther Cast, home of the Truther Cast. We are here to take your truth order. If you are new to the show, thank you for showing up. If you're over on TikTok, you should click on the link in the bio. I don't know if it looks the right way to you because it looks like TikTok doesn't mirror, so I'd have to draw this backwards. But link in the bio. Join us on Rumble. If you're on Rumble, you're in the right place, folks. That's the home of the Truther Cast because we are attempting to not just be two more dudes out here complaining on the old internet, right? We got a shtick, folks, and the shtick's not just awesome USA fake-ass cheap cowboy hats from the grocery store and Daddy Trump with the United States flag behind us, folks. But the shtick here is to build a better news feed, man. And you know how you do that? Dan knows how you do it.
You sustain from being a hoe by sharing thy show.
When you share that show, you ain't a hoe, man. So don't be a hoe and share that show, man. But we are going to help point you to some people that we like. Some, independent journalists, the citizen journalists, the stuff the mainstream news media don't really tell you, or they straight bullshit face lie to you. Maybe it's even the DOJ that's lying to you.
It's everybody nowadays, man. There's liars everywhere.
My lordy, lordy, lord. So we're going to go through that, folks. We got a little thing called the Locals Community. You can get there by clicking on the locals.mastache.com and the link down below. If you're typing it in, it's 3 S's in a row, 4 in the whole word, the locals.mastache.com. But if you go there, that's the little, non-big tech censored kind of news feed that I post all through the week. And we're going to go through those and introduce you to some, really, really good friends of the show, we call them.
Yeah, they're best friends. We have them on speed dial. They'll pick up the very first time we call all day, every day.
And, that way, if, you're not super deep into this and you stumble upon the show, or maybe somebody made sure to not be a hoe last week and they, shared the show, then you can follow these people and kind of figure out, what the hell's going on. I'm at Mastache over on X. If you're over there, follow me and some other people or whatever. But if you're into this stuff, and maybe if you're coming back to, the show for regular, thank you very much for being a regular here at the Truther Cast. We're got the Rumble live chat open. So again, if you're over here on TikTok, man, TikTok thing's kind of like, I don't even know how to talk to people on TikTok. I don't know if I'm stupid or it sucks, but got the Rumble set up with a way better show, and you can jump in the live chat. Tell us what your take was on last week's news topics. And, it was a 4th of July week, so I didn't post like a whole lot of crazy bunch, but, there's a few things to go over that people were buzzing about.
Yeah, it was a busy Independence Week.
For partying.
I mean, for work too, but yeah.
Work or party, yeah.
Most people definitely partying, yeah. Out there getting their last minute fireworks and all that, which had to been the case. Right. There was a lot of people popping off, which is good to see. A lot of people got that pride again. Everybody, that must mean people have some money in their pockets, go buy some fireworks, have a little fun. And we didn't hear a whole lot of sirens from the fire trucks that a bunch of fires are everywhere. We got some rain, so that moists everything up so there wouldn't be fires all over the place. Smokey the Bear is pretty happy.
A lot this year.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. I heard one.
Yeah.
Up in Beloit. It was like, oh boy, well, that's never a good sound to hear right after fireworks been going.
Someone screwed up, son of a biscuit. God dang.
I've seen I watched their garage burn down.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, before. Where was it? That was like southeast. I forget the name of the little town it was at, but they actually had a great show. And then some people wanted to have a show out of their backyard. Well, their garage ended up catching fire and burning at least halfway down, if not all the way down.
Fireworks safety, folks. Always make sure you know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, I had a bonfire one year. Somebody thought my garage was on fire. It was not, luckily.
Yeah, I remember that story. Yeah. Nah, I'm good, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for getting the fire department here and everything. False alarm, but now they have to dump their water since they're here and give me the whole shtick on how I'm just barely squeezing out of $1,000 fine.
Well, hopefully, some of these criminals that we're about to cover today aren't going to weasel out of their fines, right, folks?
I'm surprised, like where was all the firebombers that we've seen earlier in the year? Did they get it all out already?
Right.
They chose the wrong time of the year to do it. That would have been good cover.
What happened?
The thing is, they're not always the brightest. Those people that do that.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, another one I was wondering was they were all scuttling about like No Kings #2. They were gonna like do another No Kings event on the 4th. Oh, they're gonna like ruin the 4th of July or something.
That's what they were talking about. And then if you go on the No Kings website, it's like dead. Basically, they pulled the BLM thing. They gathered all the money and then they skirted on out of there.
Right. They only had one in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just wanted to see how they could manipulate the people this time, which whoever participated, congratulations, you got manipulated.
When us patriots were just trying to celebrate the real No Kings Day.
Yeah.
Which was just effing America. That's why the No Kings thing is wildly ignorant, right, folks?
Yeah. More like they just think we are the party of the dictatorship when they're the party of no vote in GOP nominee.
Right? Wherever you're at, TikTok, YouTube's, Rumbles, drop it in the live chat. What did you do, the other day for the 4th of July? Did you pop off with some fireworks, or did you just, have a nice chill party with yourself or a family?
Did you fire up that grill, have some good food?
Yeah, we did some grillings.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Man. The only sad part I'd say that I had to witness was there was a guy not running, but like we're like, what is that sound out there? Like, is that somebody just randomly yelling? And we get out there where we can hear more. Dudes call Ben. His animal must have been named Ben, and so fireworks startled it off. And so a person was out there looking for, I assume, their dog that went running off because they got startled by the fireworks. It happens every year. There's a major uptick in runaways and lost animals, and it's
because they didn't buy the special helmet that covers their little ears because they're baby dogs,
or like if you have any I know if my dogs are scared or not of fireworks.
Do you not have like kids or anything else? Like, why is the dog so scared, bro? They're living in a magical world of perfect, no loud noise.
The main thing, if they're scared, you don't let them outside while these things are happening. You could think they're done and then somebody might pop one off, but also that's why you go outside with it, maybe.
Put a leash on it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I want to see the stats on, Dan?
Yeah.
I want to see the stats on scared chicken shit little dogs during the 4th of July in the home average income areas map on the map. And I want to see if we can find a trend. Because I don't know, I'm hypothesizing that
you have a thesis here.
Dogs in the hood might not be too scared about things popping off.
They're probably used to a couple desk pops. A little loud bangs every here and there doesn't really make them flinch too much, huh?
The dog in the hood's like, oh man, Jerry's at it again down the street. Like,
man, they're just really lively tonight, aren't they? Okay.
Must be a Thursday,
until them things come ripping through my living room, I ain't worried about it.
And all the, uppity, richy little fluffy dogs, barely hear a ting of the water dish when the food's getting set down for them, man. Freaking out. I saw a funny meme about it where it was like, some dog and it had like a military vest on and some armor and shit and like bullets or whatever, like all mil-specced out. And it's like, I survived the 4th of July. And I was like, oh, Lord. That's how it be for some people's animals, man. Like, must be war going on out there. Nah, dude, it's just the 4th. We're just having a nice 4th of July. Relax.
Yep, some dogs just timid as shit.
But we can go on and get into it, folks. If you're hanging out here, man, TikTok, Rumble, YouTube, whatever. We're over on the X2, drop us some comments down below in that live chat and let us know what were your interesting things from the week. The most newest, obviously, is all this Jeffrey Epstein stuff that just got popped off, right? So, like,
yeah, the memes are coming back out.
Yeah, should we go in reverse chronological like we've been doing? I think that kind of made more sense, maybe. Start with the hot topic at the top of the show. Don't bury the leads.
I mean, it doesn't hurt. Switching things up is fun.
Yeah, F it, bro. Maybe we'll go from the middle someday.
Yeah.
Just then we'll get confused.
Split it right down the middle like Moses in the Red Sea.
Bruh, did you see the AI of that?
What of?
They did Moses vlogging during the splitting of the Red Sea, dog. He's like, all right, we just split the sea, guys. We're going to make it. Like, the Romans are behind us, but we're going to do this, all right? Get ready. I was like, no.
Dude.
Oh, no.
The AI putting the visual on, like, all the different circumstances and different parts of history is quite interesting.
Right.
I see, like, they've done a couple of the founding fathers. Like, those have been interesting.
Are they your headphones? No, it's coming from out there.
Hillary?
Dan's going to check that out real quick, and I'm going to spin up the door's closed. We're going to pull up this first informational tidbit here for you, folks. Is the Google just going on? Ah, kooky. The cooks next door must have like connected to it somehow. Sometimes they'll grab my Bluetooth devices.
Like, it's saying that it's playing, but I don't hear it.
Sometimes they'll grab the Bluetooth device and I'll just hear Tejano playing out of nowhere, and I'm like, it must be the kitchen staff next door.
It's not racist. It's just stereotypical facts.
I'm just living my life here, dog. Just hanging out, and then all of a sudden I hear Tejano on the radio, man. Like,
man, dude,
I didn't put it on.
Where were the liberals talking about why did she have to say that nobody's gonna clean the toilets? What, she missed the whole other crew. Like, who's gonna cook our food?
Oh yeah. I think
guess what? We still have food in all our restaurants. All the toilets are still getting cleaned.
The answer is the legal one.
Yeah, the legal or the up and coming people that need to learn work ethic.
Yeah, maybe you teach your kid how to cook. Just like let them hang out with the Mexicanos in the back, bro. Like, bang, bang. That's where I learned how to cook, at an Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Figure that out.
Yeah.
I went to an Olive Garden to learn how to cook Italian food from the Mexicans.
Right? Yeah. I learned how a kitchen works out in Davenport, Iowa. Yep. Davenport, Iowa.
That's what's up.
Pretty sure that's the one it was. Not Dubuque.
Hey, Google. App, storage, speaker. Can't remember what I called that one.
Yeah, it's so many Googles, it's hard to remember which one.
All right, what we got going on here, Dan? What we got going on?
So while we were all distracted by freedom and whatnot, because unfortunately it's important, but everything's a distraction at all different points of time unless you are paying attention 360 degrees.
Too much stuff.
365 days a year.
Crazy.
7 days a week.
Crazy.
24 hours. Yeah, Israel and their little Mossad gang, they're playing games with the Iranians, and it's pretty interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
You gonna hit it?
They're using X to their advantage.
Hit it.
What Mossad just did to Iran, this is wild. And I got the full story for you. So get this. Israel takes out Iran's top emergency military commander. Boom, gone. 3 days later, they take out his replacement too. Well, Iran starts freaking out over all this and says, all right, well, this time we're going to keep the next guy's name a secret so that you can't take him out as well. But Mossad, the Israeli intelligence agency, was like, oh, really? You think that we're not going to figure it out or already don't know? Well, Mossad goes on X and turns this whole thing into a game and says, guess who the new commander is? We already know, but let's see if you can figure it out. Well, thousands of people start replying to this post. Some are mad, some are joking around, but one dude actually gets it right. And Mossad responds like, congrats, Bainam. You got it right. DM us to claim your prize. Turns out the new secret commander is Ali, the former IRGC Air Force bigwig, already sanctioned by the United States. And the guy who guessed him right, he's like, look, I don't work for anyone. I just want freedom for my people. But here's the crazy part. Now Mossad is saying hundreds of Iranian soldiers are secretly messaging them saying, look, we're fed up with the regime. We're over all this. We want out. Some are even saying, hey, we haven't been paid in months. So they're looking for their money. Well, Mossad then comes out and responds, if you're broke, you get priority. This isn't just spy games anymore, folks. This is like psychological warfare on full display. It's like a Hollywood film. I got to know what you think about this creativity in the comment section. Appreciate you. Did you?
I mean, that's one way to win a war battle with countries, right? Is to just like win the citizens over and try and just swoop them up kind of thing, maybe?
I mean, definitely
Mutiny?
a play.
You know?
Definitely a play. Crazy they used X to do it.
Homie.
But like, I mean, I'm not surprised that they haven't been getting paid. Like, that wouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah. Right. That like makes sense. Like either they blew it all or they're just like bad leaders and not paying them or something.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need the money. You do it because we brainwashed you. Let's go. Like, you know, like, it's a little bit tyrannical government, like not communism, but like tyrannical government style.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Because they call him supreme leader. That sounds like some communist bullshit, like
Yeah.
tyrannical dictator shit, right?
But I mean, I'm not surprised Mossad already knew all that.
Yeah.
And then whoever this random guy was, that he had to have been pretty random and then just made a good guess. Hopefully, because if he is connected anyway, I don't think he made it to the next day.
It made it sound
they
like
would have seen that and been like, all right, we're pulling you to the side and putting you in a special little dark alley, and you may or may not get out of there.
it made him sound like he was an Iranian because the guy said, "Look, I don't want any prize. I just want peace for my people."
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how connected
he
he is.
ran his mouth.
Like, or
Just
he
like
hopefully
connected,
just
sure.
has been paying attention to the citizen and like got the guess right.
You're right. Or his brother's in the army.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. If he's got any connections, like him or his family,
Keep
could
it
be in
low.
possible danger.
Well, luckily, Iran doesn't have the technology to skim, X and figure out all those things that Mossad made.
Yeah. But yeah,
Damn it! How do we get this? Figure them out.
Yeah.
Somebody look up his account.
Yeah. But the actual psychological games are on action. They're not being hidden this time. It's no like psyop. It's straight out there, and they're saying like,
Yeah.
"Look, we're the broke ones. Yo, we'll give you priority. Come on over and get out of there if you're sick of the regime over there." Like, man, that's one way to win the battle right there. Just steal their soldiers. And you're not even really stealing them. You're just winning them over.
Mutiny, man.
Yeah.
Mutiny. Just get all the people to turn on them. Problem solved. That's one way to win it, man. That's super interesting. All right, Daniel, what you got here for us?
I was gonna blank on
He
this.
said probably just about how it went in the war room before the strike
I
happened.
think it's an AI video.
Got an LOL at the end. It might be a comedic relief.
I know it's a comedic relief for sure. I'm just trying to remember the background to give it a. Oh yeah.
Why is that?
Fucking ruin everything they're doing. Fuck them. Teach them a lesson that I'm in charge, not them. Today I'm just gonna go and
Basically.
Yeah. Eddie Trailer Park
So
Boys fans.
that
y'all
basically we can warm us up here, folks. We're getting into the Epstein bananas, right? So I really want to hear you down in the live chat down below. Drop the comment if you're watching in the replay or something like that. But we're reverse chronological. Kind of doesn't work for this, I guess. But they came out with the official response, and the official response says Jeffrey Epstein didn't even exist.
Wow,
No, it doesn't say that. Okay.
He was a ghost.
But everything else didn't exist. So there is no Epstein client list. There is absolutely no one else to implicate in any kind of crimes at all. And, Epstein did off himself. And here's a 13-hour video of the surrounding time of when, the Epstein, stopped the video game of life game. And, there was the unedited version and then the enhanced version. But what the internet found out was there's a missing minute from the raw version. So you're a little bit more aware of tactical, type, like practicings than I. So do you think that it's humanly possible for anybody to breach a door and aid somebody in stopping the game of life and then exiting that door all within 1 minute?
Yeah.
Like a minute's kind of a long time, but like a short time.
It's a short time, but when either a team or one very specially trained individual wants to know what the plan is and then they can practice that, it's just like any Olympic sport, like any missions that the military does. You know what your mission's supposed to be. You know what your layout's going to be. You make a mock-up and you practice. And you just there's plenty of ways they could have done that. One, probably doesn't have to breach the door. Door was probably just unlocked for him,
right?
Like electronically.
Because after the end of the minute, the door looks fine.
Yeah. Where he was at, I'm guessing they had electronic locks on the doors, and so somebody binged that one open. Somebody comes in. I mean, I would guess, since it's a minute, and because he was, by the end of the minute, he was already gone, right? When they found out and they re-looked into the room.
Like in the video, it's like a nothing burger. There's some people off in the background, right, but then the foreground.
See him actually dead in the cell.
So that's where we're so there's absolutely no video evidence of him actually doing things, and you're not going to give us that.
I mean,
so it's just the outside of the room. And so their point is they're giving us all of the video evidence to prove that nobody went in there to do anything.
Somebody could definitely, if doors opened, they could definitely set that up in a minute. I mean, come on. Who hasn't watched any of the Mission Impossibles?
It's a little bit silly, but kind of not, because, movies are made on real life, right? But dude? Some Green Beret, some Navy SEAL,
some Special Forces, or just CIA
and
agent.
Something above that.
Yeah. Any agent could have.
There's magical Jason Bourne type freaking assassin people in real life, bro.
Absolutely.
That's like a dead cold fact, right?
Right. Ask Hillary. She probably knows a couple.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, I mean, a minute, that's definitely enough time. Doors open. You push that open real quick if it doesn't open itself, to save time, because he's probably going to maybe put up a struggle, even if he's not going to put up a struggle because he knows it's probably end times.
Right.
He's still going to be moving around to where you're going to have to deal with that. So you pop in, you bust him with a neurotoxin or some
new school thingy that's not going to show up in a drug test, autopsy.
Who's to say that whoever autopsied him, that was correct? Because as we know with Kennedy, it was a switched out body.
Right.
So they just hit him with whatever decapacitates him really quick within seconds.
Right.
Which they definitely have stuff like that.
Wave gun, some wow.
I mean, they could have hit him with a heart attack. They could have hit him with a heart attack gun.
Like some new techie.
Because we know the heart attack gun exists. But yeah, you bust door, pop him, he goes limp. Then all you got to do is set up the scene real quick. Which, if you have the supplies with you, then you just. Because they put him in he hung himself?
They put him in the room previous because he wasn't supposed to have sheets, and then he got sheets somehow.
Yeah. So
everything was already in the room.
Yeah, you pop him. You already have that material on your back. You set it up, get him strung up to however he was, and then poof, you're out of there. It definitely can be done under a minute.
We're not mil spec secret ops over here, folks.
I mean, an F1 team can change tires, refuel, like change the windscreen.
It's a lot of people, though. A lot of people.
I mean, yeah, there is more people.
We can get a lot of stuff done in like a minute.
Yeah. Well, way under a minute.
You're right.
Like we talking.
Yeah,
we
what
doing
is that?
all that. I mean, if you're talking, I forget.
Don't go too crazy.
Yeah,
Just give me a quick one.
Well, I'm pretty sure the record for like tires and fuel is like it's under 10 seconds.
No.
Oh, it's like a sub. It's sub 5 seconds or under.
That's bonkers.
Oh, it absolutely. It was like almost a blink of an eye.
I was gonna say like 20, 30 seconds. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So like for one individual to pop him, hang him, get on out of there in a minute. Especially if you've been able to practice because you had a plan and you knew that was happening, not just spur of the moment. Yeah, you could get it done under a minute.
And so,
I would sure say so. Man, why is Mythbusters not around still? That'd be a great one for them.
Well, they failed doing 9/11, so
I don't think they'd take up that one out of the email request. But,
yeah, they're gonna be like, no thanks.
Our director says we cannot try this one for certain legal reasons.
So what the lamestream, the liberal hive mind download is, Trolley's not here today to give us the hive mind download. To my understanding, the hive mind television download, bro, is, again, and this is like, I'll expand on it more, but this is small level people that think Donald Trump actually is running every single thing that has anything to do with anything in the United States, and we act like that. So they're saying that because they're not telling us any of this that we believe to be true, that must mean that Donald Trump told the DOJ and the FBI to say that there's absolutely nothing because he is unequivocally on the list of going to the island and clearly is on all of these videos harming children and is 100% implicated in doing bad stuff that's involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, before I give my version, what would be your response to that?
I mean, is there a way to 100% prove it false? Probably not. There's probably some things that you could like lean to, like, oh, that's a maybe possibility. But I mean, like we've always talked about, if they would have had, why would they have not ran and shouted it all over when he was running?
So that is exactly where I went immediately.
They could have outed him if they had any of that.
Could be true.
Back when, if they hated the guy that much, I mean, mate.
I find it hard to believe they wouldn't have dropped it before the election, fam.
Like, it's not totally unplausible, like, what if he's about it? Obviously, like, good TV, you got your ups and downs and your cliffhangers. Maybe that was, that they're trying to get, like, maybe this is the whole play. Get all of us, like, really on one side because technically it's division.
Right.
Hate the other side. And it was just a play when really they're all on the same team and Trump's just playing an actor in a part.
So that's one, too, that I would, you could be right. There's no such thing as good guys. Trump's on the inside with the bad guys. It's all a ruse. Ba, 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 ba.
Make it look like they're coming after him, blah, blah, blah.
But no, he's in the Epstein files too, so he commanded them, So sure, I am biased because I ain't gonna lie. I want to believe there are good guys. So I find it difficult to believe that. And I'm going with there's no effing way, because then also, do you know, like, this is what this tells me. So we were just discussing, there's obviously people that are like some, quote, Jason Bourne type level, James Bond off the books type.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
People, right? So there's clearly people like that, right?
Yeah.
Are they under the branch and the command of our public departments of government?
No.
Probably not. Like, more than 50% likely not, right?
Yeah.
If they're that stupid high level, like some Taken or like some Jason Statham shit, right?
I will find you.
They're either a private person or they're working for our, what do you call it, shadow government, like
the communist regime that wants to take over.
well, even like the good guy one, right? So like, we got some like, black ops type shit, right? Where it's like off the bookie stuff, like, like where'd all that money go before, on September 10th that we were in Congress talking about right before, like where does that money go, right? So we have our own official organization, or what is it, the Expendables,
right, yeah,
like, oh, it's the secret group that nobody knows about. They wiped all of their historical records and documents and stuff because they're the guys that go in and take things out when we can't publicly do things, right?
Yeah.
So what this tells me is that the entire Jeffrey Epstein debacle is all above the DOJ.
Like it's it's like
that's my take.
The billionaires that aren't listed that are running things, or trillionaires, could definitely, the people that don't want that if you start calling their names out, people all of a sudden going to start disappearing real quick.
Bro, it's the people that were using the system, right?
War comes on real quick, like a big distraction to make you forget that you even brought their names up.
And their names that very few of us would even have an idea of what to say.
Yep.
They are in the shadows, bro. So I mean, this tells us this is above DOJ, dog.
Or they have been doing a great job in all these other aspects of the new FBI, with Kash Patel directing and Dan Bongino being in high rank. Maybe they literally, like, their lead ends in that,
that's what they're claiming.
Like,
they're claiming there's no info.
They can't figure out past. It's basically a big old shot in the dark for them, even as like the best crime fighting unit in the world. They got a nothing burger off what was left for evidence, and so they don't want to look incompetent. So they just are like, well, the only thing we can say for sure is this, so we'll say that for now,
which is what you do.
We can hopefully find another crumb down the trail.
Which is what you do when you're like the official thing of anything, especially law enforcement, right?
Yeah.
You're like, or legal.
Yeah.
Like,
hey,
why does somebody walk?
Maybe they're big brain in it, because that is also another play. You might have a lead, but you publicly state nothing's there while you're cooking, while you're cooking in the back waiting.
Right. I was thinking about that too. But then it could, that would be an interesting risk, because then it could blow back, and then they, we'd be upset with them because like, oh, you lied to us before or something. But they would just say like, oh, we found this new info.
I mean, we've all seen the movies.
Right?
The undercover agents can't blow their cover, like, so maybe they're basically an undercover agent in front of all of us.
We would only hope. The awesome Mike Benz over here says Alex Acosta. This is a good reminder post. The DOJ official who gave Jeffrey Epstein the sweetheart plea deal in 2008 and who was quoted saying he was, quote, told to back off Epstein because he belonged to intelligence. He mysteriously had all 11 months of DOJ emails to him in the time period mysteriously disappear.
Amazing how many things just mysteriously disappear.
And when they disappear, you can't build a case, technically.
It's pretty hard to. Ask Hillary.
She loves to make things disappear so there's no case, right?
Yeah, and then what was it the FBI that one branch FBI that tried it with Doge? They tried deleting the account records.
Oh, right,
and then Doge recovered them.
I think it was like one of the effing USAID parts, bro. Like something like that in there.
Some government entity tried doing a Hillary, but they got caught.
Epic fail. You can't see this. Yeah. So this guy claims he was literally told that Epstein belonged to intelligence. So very, very interesting, man.
Man, it's crazy how much power and protection you get when you're part of knowing things. So that's why you should chime on in the Truthercast and become more aware and realize, and then you just gain protection and acquittances.
What up, TikTok people? If you would like a full show with more pictures and thingies, and you can hear probably a lot better, hit the Rumble link in the bio, and you can come join us over on Rumble. Hop in the live chat and tell us what you thought was interesting about last week and stuff like that. It's just a lot better show, on the or not on the TikTok. The TikTok thing kind of sucks, but trying to reach out and find some people. Come join us on the Rumble. Mr. Benny Johnson covered that. Okay, so here is Peter Ducey, of all news people. He's the guy. He's gonna press her. And here's what Miss Caroline Levitt had to respond. Because do you remember us literally covering what Pam Bondi said? She's got the list on her desk, and she's just trying to get through all the paperwork.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. Caroline. Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
I've got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what.
Oh, it's a technical semantics detail. She didn't say she had the Epstein client list on the desk.
She just had Epstein files on her desk.
She had files. You implied it was the list.
Yeah.
The Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in United States history. Their emphasis on violent crime and locking up violent criminals has led to the arrest of 14,000 violent criminals. That's a 62% increase from the same time period last year. So this Attorney General and the FBI Director are committed to putting bad people behind bars where they belong. They promised an exhaustive review. That's what they did. For any further details, I would refer you.
Look, we do have some details about some criminals, so
here's another possibility. It could be all Jews on that list, and if they were to release that, all the people that are really not liking the Jews too much recently are then, it would spark a whole retaliation, and then Israel's really in some hot water, that whole situation, and America backing them up. So that puts us in a hot spot because we're like their ally, right? Like, we support them. They don't really support us for anything other than blackmailing our people. But then they have that rule on if it's going south, then they basically destruct the whole world with nukes. So if we outed them on that, they might just say, all right, we're going to enact that plan right now since, everybody's going to turn on us now that they know it's all Jews.
So then you bring me to another idea that I had. Call me crazy tinfoil hatter. What just happened recently? Oh, we bombed the Iran to get them to back off. But how did we get Israel to back off? They were pretty vehement about, nah, bro, we're going to put an end to this. So maybe our event was enough for them to feel like things were ended. Or maybe there was a deal. Maybe they said, hey, Trump, don't you want to look good? Don't you want to look like you put an end to this? Well, we're going to need you to definitely not talk about any of that Epstein stuff. I hear some of your guys are gunning in there to talk about the Epstein stuff. So, I'm going to need you to shut that down.
If you don't want this Gaza Strip deal, you better, you got to keep that Epstein thing a little under the carpet still.
Who knows, dog? And then, if we were working with them doing this, then we wouldn't want this to all be out anyway, dog. Like if the United States government in the high level shit or something, high level DOJ that's hella classified or outside official, means, if we're doing work with Mossad and blah, 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 we gonna try and keep that wrapped up too, man.
Yeah, you can't really give any. You don't want to give any crumbs out there for the other intelligence agencies to try to work with.
Right. And you don't want to admit that you were doing the unfortunate bad things you got to do to kind of do good things. Like sometimes
it smells a lot more like a poker face than anything is what they're doing.
Well, what gets me, dude, is like if we're to believe that they were doing this thing to like blackmail people, there's like allegedly real, girls and children involved that were being harmed. And so it's really difficult to say that that's okay in order to bait bigger bad guys to get them. Like it's tough to get over that humanitarian aspect. Like where they have bad websites still up that they use as honeypots to catch people. It's like, but now you're basically complicit in running a bad stuff on the internet website, United States government.
Yeah.
Yes, but we're using it to catch all these bad guys.
But
still allowing these things to show pictures of real humans.
Yeah, it's kind of like the why do we keep anthrax around? Oh, we got to study it, this and that. You know it's really bad. How about we just destroy it? We know how it works, what it looks like, all the rest of it. How about we now just destroy that so then we don't have to worry about
a good analogy.
Accidental, leak of it.
It's crazy.
Just get rid of it, and then if you take, it's almost like a weed. If you take out the roots, it's not coming back. But if you just take off the couple at the top, by like luring in the scragglers that are still coming to the site, even though all the core people know, because we have heard of sites being downed and they're still operating. So like the people that you probably really need to get that run any of them operations are long gone.
Right.
So like the other people, if you it's weird, 'cause it's like
kind of weird.
I mean, it's like they still do the wrong thing, but like, is it free will? I mean, yes, it is free will.
Where's the line?
But like, it's kind of like shitty parenting.
Right.
Instead of nudging them with encouragement of like, hey, this is what you want to do, this is what you don't want to do, they're like, hey, come on, do that bad thing. Do that bad thing. And then when they do, you smack them right. And then they're like, what was that for? It's like, you're actually not supposed to do that. This is your lesson. Right. They're not going to learn great that way.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
Unlikely. Like, a kid understands that whole concept.
How about that? Hopefully give that person a realization like, oh, I was about to possibly do that bad thing. And then I didn't. I've learned, like, I have learned something in my brain. I can do something else. And then they just don't do it. And you don't have to reprimand them. And then everybody moves on in a positive direction.
Mm-hmm.
Because like
tricky, bro.
Like it seems like you're just keeping. You could slap the label sin on it, or another way to look at it. Like if they're just keeping the sin around, and then some people can still come in and like get a little sin. Like how about you just take it away? And so then somebody has to. If they're really that bad, they will create it again, and then that's a person you definitely want to find and correct.
Right.
The other people, they just they're just wanderers. They're just going to wander in the situation.
Yep.
They're not the true like builders of the shittiness. They just end up participating in the shittiness down the road.
Right. But still participants nonetheless. Blah, blah,
so
blah.
Right. Get rid of the root, you'll have less weeds.
Right.
If you just pick the leaves, there'll still be other, scragglers to come on down.
You mean
and
if people
get tangled in the bullshit?
Do you mean that like if people just removed talking about bad things from the past at the root, then we probably wouldn't have to worry about bad things happening in the future and keep remembering all of them?
It definitely could help.
Okay, interesting. Another take on this one, folks, is I don't know if you recall, but to refresh your memory, both Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were both officially charged and put in jail by the feds for operating a massive trafficking of bad stuff ring with humans involved, right? And it included like thousands of victims, right?
Yeah.
And none of them in the court case ever was there anybody that they actually trafficked or trafficked to. And it's the first time, I believe, in history that Ghislaine Maxwell goes down for human trafficking of no one. So they proved that she trafficked people, but they have no one clue who was trafficked or who paid for the trafficking. Like, no one else has been arrested? Not one person that was a client of these people were arrested. So one of their clients is pictured here, Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. He paid an Epstein victim tens of millions of dollars for her silence. Allegedly? Is that confirmed? I don't know. Virginia Roberts' story is horrific and well documented. She has now since passed away from coincidental accidental car crash events.
I was gonna say, was that one or because there was that other woman that just offed herself as the official headline.
Yeah.
Right, remember that one?
That's this one. So she was hit by a bus where there's like no buses usually, and then she got told she had like a few days to live, and then she ended up just like ending the game herself.
I'm pretty sure there was another one. There wasn't any wreck. She just actually like took her own life.
Nope, it was this person. Pretty certain.
We
can double check.
We'll lean on the pretty.
Pretty certain. To say that there are thousands of quote victims in a convicted, human trafficking ring, and then to say that there were actually no customers when the operation happened right before our very eyes insults all of our intelligence. And right here, folks, is this alleged photo of Ghislaine Maxwell, and then what was it, the prince, right? Prince Andrew, Duke of York, with one of the girls that was being trafficked, man. So you're going to mean to tell me that, like, nobody has any information on these individuals whatsoever?
They're a well-trained group of just keep your mouth shut.
I mean, absolutely, because then your family might end up meeting Hillary's friends or something. I don't know, man. But then people ask me, well, why is Jeffrey Epstein decide to off himself, but Ghislaine Maxwell hasn't? And I'm like, what? Depends on how big your tinfoil hat you're wearing is when I talk to you, because, Ghislaine was actually the higher up in command here. So
yeah, she's Mossad.
Jeffrey was thinking about singing, that would lean towards, he was nudged or had some help or something.
Mossad.
Then that's why we want to see that missing 1 minute out of that video, I guess. But is that really going to tell us anything? Who knows? We want to see the video of who went in there to get him, right? What if he was completely fine until the people that went in to get him did something?
Yeah.
Like, we don't have a lot of like documented evidence of like how long was he there? Can we see reports? Can we see videos? Like, I want multiple confirmations to corroborate this story here, man. Absolutely bonkers, if you ask me, folks. I can't believe we've got these bad people out here and not a damn thing is being done about it. Insane. Well, I guess you could say one thing. They did put Ghislaine Maxwell in jail. Thank God. But I think that sums up the topic so far from what I've seen.
Yeah, pretty much is what we got for the info that we have at the moment.
If you haven't heard yet, the news media is digging this one because it's brother Elon's mad at Daddy Trump, again talking crap on the internet. He says, I think he posted this, so he did start the bullshit, right? But the news has taken this, and so originally this document, this alleged document here, got posted where Elon said, "All right, folks, everyone voted on an X poll," because that's how we decide things sometimes. And everybody said, yes, we should start the America Party. So here's the official, FEC document. And then everybody started picking that apart. And I don't know, can you pronounce the name of the custodian of records? Or the treasurer?
Vaibhav Neha.
So does that sound like somebody that you'd think would run the America Party? I mean, like, sure, we're a melting pot, so maybe there's like a Vivek Ramaswamy, that's going to head up the America Party.
Elon was bragging about being able to bring in smarter people from different regions.
H-1B visas. He's a big fan.
So that might be one of them.
But everybody was talking ish and saying like, oh, we're going to have some like foreign person that's the leader of the.
Google.
So then Elon.
Google him.
Well, Elon comes out and says this is fake. So it's not even really formed.
The whole document.
Yes.
Fake.
So now the news.
Definitely easy to do.
The news is kind of slow, and that part has not been updated. Also, it would prove that Elon is actually just an OG, old millennial type person. I don't know. Is he young Gen X? Or
I don't know.
Yeah, is he young Gen X or old millennial? But anyway, he's an internet person from life, bro. And so he's just like a professional talk-ish on the internet kind of guy. So that would
he's kind of like Kanye. He knows how to get the people going.
Right, bro. It's marketing, Yeah. So if the news mentioned this too quickly, they wouldn't get a little news cycle of like, oh, pay attention.
No publicity is bad publicity. It's just eyes on target.
In general, right? So I guess that little thing has been debunked already. Yeah, here's the actual video, I guess. I was trying to find this one earlier. It is essentially 13 hours of this. Staring at a door.
Then all of a sudden, there's a minute.
Yep. And then what I don't get is why didn't you just release the unedited video immediately? And then give us the enhanced one when that's done.
Sounds a lot like the pipe bomb video.
Kind of strange, man. Kind of strange.
Almost like they're hoping people will forget it, or they're doing editing.
Oh yeah, I was watching the Levitt press conference earlier today, and she claims, like White House stat facts, so could be skewed. I'm biased. I'm okay with it. She's claiming that gas prices right now are the lowest they've been in 4 years, and with inflation adjustment, the lowest in 20 years. So I was curious what you guys got for the real feel out there. Drop it down in the live chat or the comments down below. Let me know.
And just so you know,
do you think gas is lower?
Illinois, thanks to Pritzker, right now, as of today, we pay 48.3 cents per gallon just in tax.
Because they added a new 1% tax on July 1st, I believe, is what I hear.
Yep. So it's now up to 48, almost 50 cents per gallon you are paying just straight as a tax.
And I heard also a 40% more tax on nicotine products.
Yep. There's all sorts of tax on all sorts of things.
That is bonkers, folks. I can't believe that is, bro. It's
Pritzker loves taking our money for his business.
We need to
that he is a professional at taking our tax dollars and putting them basically like how USAID did it through a bunch of different organizations, skimming off the top,
right,
and then eating the buttload of burgers on the back door of things with all his free money. Right. Becoming more of a monumental man.
I think I need to figure out.
By monument, I mean he's big enough to just sit on Mount Rushmore and look like he plays the part.
Wilkinson in the live chat. Welcome to the live show here tonight. She says, we are effed in Illinois, but it's still lower.
I mean,
so you do think the gas is lower a little bit?
Definitely not what it was during COVID.
Well, we're thinking compared to Biden years.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, no, that was COVID. Duh.
It was $4.
Duh.
It was $4 a gallon.
Right.
Right now
we're
it's
down to
hovering
like
around $3.19-ish.
I saw it 280 somewhere. I can't. It was like a little bit out of town or something.
I was gonna say it's probably up in Wisconsin.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Wisconsin's about 280.
You ain't got no Pritzker tax, man. But dude, yeah, nope. I'm like, bro, one of us needs to go figure out how to get.
We would be right at 280 if it wasn't for 48 cents.
Right. One of us needs to figure out how to go get paid by the GOP and like Scott Pressler, Illinois, dog. Like, who's gonna do it? somebody's got to step up here in Illinois.
Somebody's got.
And somebody's got to start getting everybody drummed up to go door knocking.
Either got to beat Pritzker or beat whoever is going to be running in his place, because there's a lot of. Have you heard all the talk about him actually being possibly the Democratic nominee, or maybe not even, just who's going to run for the Democratic side president in the next election?
No, I haven't heard any talk of Pritzker. I've heard AOC.
A lot of people be talking about Pritzker
Really?
possibly might be going for that position.
How tall is he?
Dear Lord, please God, no.
There's no way. How tall is he?
I want to say 5.
There's absolutely no way America will hire a short, fat man for president.
Oh, dang, look at that. Bam, right on the money, basically.
5'9"? Bro, so there's stats on this. I forget.
Oh,
Let's
wait.
just ask Rock.
Remember when we asked them about Trump and they couldn't? Remember
About how tall he was?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't talk about that. Was the early days.
They just refused.
Or no, that was ChatGPT, I think.
Right. I think they ended up finally coming back around and actually letting us know
Because
the
Grok
answers
came
right.
out, so now
Yeah.
competition, so they had to like let up on that, I think. Damn, bro, it's gonna generate a chart. That's fancy.
Abe Lincoln, of course. Oh, dang. Trump's one of the biggest. Tallest.
Abe was the #1 tallest dude.
I mean, yeah, remember how, like, he was a big dude.
Try to give it to us in inches, man. Give me feet inches. And then Donald Trump, George Washington, Franklin Roosevelt, Bill Clinton, JFK, Barack Obama's, John Tyler. Am I a fool? Who the hell is John Tyler? I don't remember that one. We got. What did John Tyler do? And it's like absolutely nothing.
Oh,
that's why we don't remember that one.
yeah. Or maybe a whole bunch of stuff. Who knows?
Okay, so the shortest dude, James Madison and John Adams, which I'm pretty sure they were real mouthy people, right?
Founding fathers.
Van Buren.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, and founding. Ulysses S. Grant, James K. Polk. I know all of those ones. So they were all in the 66 inches category. How many foots is that?
Millard Fillmore?
How many foots is that? 4 foot,
Well,
No.
6 foot is 72 inches.
right? That's like only 6 inches less. So they're still all pretty damn tall. There's no way J.B. Pritzker is gonna get elected at only coming in at a very small 5'9". Now, what's crazy, folks? You'll never believe this, folks. It's out of control. It's absolutely crazy. They tell me that JB is actually as round as he is tall. I know, sounds absolutely wild,
I
but
bet he is.
when he goes into the tailor, they say, "Hey, sir, what are your sizes for the suit?" He says, "Huge."
Just make it huge. That would
He says, "Have you seen a square, sir? Please just
Have you seen a sphere?
make it a square
Have you
that's
seen a sphere? That's
slightly
what he is.
rounded."
Like VeggieTales. He is a tomato.
There's no way, folks. 5'9" and not gonna work.
Like, no, it's really, because the way he's gotten all these Illinoisans is the way he talks. He is he's like Obama with talking. He's a superb, literate talker. He uses very specific language
Admittedly, I haven't.
and ways to make things sound really good to the uninformed people. But if you actually understand how legal shit works and how you can like bend your words and say them a very certain way so you're not like legally obligated and tying yourself into a thing, but you're saying one thing what sounds like it is, but you're really not saying it that way.
Yeah, the art of speak.
That he is really good
The
at
gift of gab. they
and
call
with
it.
as we know as how many sheep there are out there, he could get a whole lot of sheep behind him, and that would be tragic because.
Well, he already has. Dude's been running it, bro. God dang.
Well, either been running it or Illinois. And my theory is Illinois might have been one of the very testing beds on how they, skew elections.
I mean, one would only imagine that some sort of a fraudulent activity was likely happening in the Democratic lockhold that is Chicago.
Yes. But he could have done it just through his talking on making people think it's all a certain way, and then in the back and he's just screwing everybody over, and they refuse to see it that way.
Right, bro?
Illinois is one of the second highest state, if not the highest state, in people leaving, and that's only because of certain reasons. I mean, you generally don't
second to California.
You generally don't leave a state that you would want to be in, right? Like, what other factors would make you leave if you didn't want to?
What's it called when people leave? Like the official word?
I mean,
interstate migration.
Like migrating is a word, but I don't know if that would be a correct word.
Exodus?
I think it actually might be the Exodus. But number one city I've learned today of per capita people leaving, Gary, Indiana.
Ooh, I heard it's gotten real bad down there. But Indiana as a whole is really awesome.
Right, yeah. Just that's why I made sure to say just the city. Like Illinois got the state crown, if not it's between Illinois and California. But for cities, Gary is real bad. Apparently, there's more stray animals around than people.
Oh, weird.
Per acre. Yep.
It's just like gone full India?
It allegedly there was like 100
stray dogs.
There was like 166,000, I think, about people some years back, and now they're down to like 60, like mid 60,000 people.
Dude, Wilkenstein said Pritzker wants to tax you for leaving Illinois.
I believe that's also in there. Oh, dude, he's a scumbag. That's how it works.
Wasn't Kelly trying to say that too? Like you still had to pay their taxes even if you left or some shit? Yeah. How do they... What?
That's when you hit them back with the suck on these nuts.
Okay, yeah, we're dumb. Yes, it is migration, yeah. Wait, so South Carolina's the highest? What? Delaware, North Carolina. So like we're nowhere near. What data is this giving us?
So did all of a sudden in the last couple years stop? We were definitely the highest on the list.
Yeah, right. Like what? 2024? Interesting.
Back in 20 to 22, things were very high. Ask me how I know. I was in the moving business.
Fitness was good.
Yeah. Everybody was leaving Illinois. I think
that had to have been just 2024, right? Okay, now I told it do more. Okay. So 2021 and the more.
Okay. Second behind New York, California. No, New York's got a lot of people leaving. That makes sense.
Well, that makes sense too. And then I heard there is a new exodus happening since the Zoran guy.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, so
the big main three
slowed down apparently. That's
the big main three. Started in 2017. We was second only to New York, bro.
Yeah. And then third.
When did J.B. Pritzker become governor? (2019). Okay, so it even started before him. Interesting.
Things have been whack in Illinois for a long time.
Right. No, nothing too new.
But he has made the most tax increases in the history.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What do you know? A Democrat? Call me. Paint me colored.
Weird how they always want to operate off our money and not their own, even though he's a billionaire. Not made, handed down.
Yeah, they own the whole Hyatt Hotel, blah, blah, blah. Yep. And his brother's good friends with Jeffrey Epstein and is on the flight log and actually went to the island, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I forget about that one, you know.
Yeah, don't forget. Can't forget that one.
I thought this was a great one to have bookmarked. The next time somebody asks you, yeah, but I could just, if you're calling the liberals and woke, if you're calling that a cult, I could just say the same thing about you, and the right and the Republicans and the MAGAs, they're a cult, right?
You can basically say any group that has a common agreed upon bit of rules is a cult.
Well, sure, but let's he's better at saying words than us, I guess, but listen to his quick explanation. It's like, yeah, bro, I'm just gonna hit play and let this guy say it. God dang.
Have you ever seen that video?
No.
Pull that video up, because it's one of my favorites.
You say the left is a cult. I can do the same thing with the right. I can say they're completely insane. Look at these nutbags on Twitter.
You'd be wrong.
Really?
Yeah. The popular vote winner, Donald Trump, was a Democrat. RFK Jr., former liberal. Tulsi Gabbard, former liberal. Elon Musk, former liberal. Tim Pool, former liberal. I never voted Republican. I didn't like Republicans. And now the Republican MAGA movement, not the neocons, is an eclectic bunch of diverse views which debate each other. Charlie Kirk, Christian conservative, invites moderate pro-choice Tim Pool onto his stage to discuss those views to the public. On the left, what do you think would happen if you went and opposed their views at a public forum? You'd be threatened with violence. Booking liberals to come on my show.
We have the same problem. They don't want to talk.
I can sit in front of a libertarian like Dave Smith and Charlie Kirk at the same time, and we leave with beers in our hands, smiles on our faces. And Dave will say, Charlie, I really do appreciate it. I think you do good work. I know we disagree. The left doesn't do that. They firebomb your building. You could not define what they believe. It's impossible.
Man, straight up.
Just with the point. Absolute solid point.
Bang, bang, bang. And then so that's difficult to even argue to somebody that's more, not willing to even have a, good faith debate or something, right? Because they're going to be like, that's not true.
Very biased person.
And bigoted, right? They refuse to allow for the possibility of their mind to be changed.
Very brainwashed and programmed.
Right. Because in our purview, that is how our side operates. We're trying to but then over on the other side, man, it's like if you step out of line of the things that you're supposed to be agreeing with and pushing on.
They were like, oh, sorry to hear you think that way. Maybe you can have a nap and think it over. Maybe you'll come to realization. They're like, you don't believe it? All right. Well, you better believe it right now. Otherwise, you might be gone tomorrow.
Maybe it wasn't a giant number, but I guarantee you there were, people that subscribe to full left extremism, liberalism, or wokeism right now. There were friendships, there were relationships lost. Because that person got a Tesla during the Elon's a bad man, anti-Tesla
and it's because it was happening before that, remember?
Right.
When Trump got elected, and they're saying, don't go to that family Thanksgiving if you know somebody in your family.
We'll try to go one below the Trump one, because that was the most ridiculous, right? But
they did it at when Biden even won against Trump. Anybody who's still talking about anybody that's saying COVID is a conspiracy, don't go to their if they're not boosted, don't go to their Thanksgiving. This and that. Yeah, they've always been doing it.
Just even the hey, you're supposed to be mad at Teslas right now. So if you're not into it, you're out, bro. And that's a cult, bro. That's a cult. I talk to all kinds of people that are on our side, and I'm like, yeah, I disagree with that.
Which is probably why most people would then use that as the debate against because some, like, by the definition, you could say a lot of religions are cults, like how they operate. But
I feel Catholicism gets very culty.
You look at the Christian church, they're generally like, hey, come on by. Hopefully you like it. Oh, you don't want to like come next week? Well, hopefully you'll come the week after that.
You know, most good churches, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They're not like, well, if you don't come back next week, you're not allowed back to our church then the week after that.
What up, Mr. Rex? Thanks for the follow, brother. If you want a better show with some more like on the TV things and better audio and shit, probably hit that link in the bio. Join us over on the Rumble. Got a live chat going. You can chime in. Let us know what you thought was interesting from the last week. Give us your take, or you know what you think about what we're yakking on about. But yo, thanks for the sub, dog.
Apparently, I'm an alien when it comes to thumbnails.
Oh, what?
That's what Niltamir says in the chat. Why do I keep looking alien?
What
I don't know, buddy.
Keeps looking like you continue to look like an alien?
Like, right? Am I progressing to looking more alien-like?
Yeah.
Or I just look like an alien every time so far? I look
Is it getting worse?
Yeah, is it getting worse, or I just have been looking like an alien for quite a few now?
What's on my face? So this week in
I'm morphing.
I remember I loved the Animorphs when I was a kid. This week in accountability in what we effing voted for and the parts that are kind of quiet and we bitch and we moan and we wish the Epstein stuff and we wish the wars were immediately ended and we wish all the monies was immediately given back to the taxpayers and we wish no taxes on anything and the Federal Reserve was ended all immediately. These are all kind of grandiose. I like them. I want us to keep pushing for them. But we do have some more small significant wins for the week.
Oh, more winning, you say?
More winning. You're going to be sick of the winning. I'm going to win so much you'll be sick of it. I know it's hard to believe, but Trolley got sick of winning and didn't even show up this week. That's how much we're winning right now, folks.
Yep, apparently.
There was no losing last week for him to try and come in here and talk about.
We just got to start talking about the Trolley, and then his ears will start burning wherever he's at, and he'll hop on in a few minutes. Watch.
Is it like that?
That is my alien fortune-telling powers. That's right, Niltamir.
It's like the thing, like, what do they call it? People tell me if you say Beetlejuice too many times, he'll show up. So maybe you say Trolley too many times, he might also show up like Beetlejuice. He is kind of a prick like him, like, I'm not supposed to talk like that. They tell me not to talk like that on camera, but...
Trolley shit, trolley shit, trolley shit.
The interesting thing is he doesn't know what the F he's doing. So we got people getting accountability here, folks. This is a double up. We got people getting accountability. They wearing the orange jumpsuit. And what is it for, Dan? Voter fraud?
What?
But people said the elections were never rigged. There wasn't any voter fraud.
There's no fraud in these elections.
Now, perhaps this is not the United States presidential 2020 election, but, it is 15 people, including multiple local Democrats. Dan, I'm flabbergasted. They're Democrats.
Color me flabbergasted.
Did you like that saying? We got 2 dropped on that. And I said it wrong, too.
Still worked.
15 people, including multiple local Democrat officials, charged for voter harvesting scheme in Texas. Not the great state of Texas, man. And that must be why they got arrested. Accountability still exists down there. So, are you ready for these aren't just like some blokes that were volunteering over at the, the election, thing, like the voting booths, man. We got a county judge, a city council member, the school district board member, the county elections administrator, the city council member, a campaign worker, Bexar County Democrat Party chair, and former San Antonio mayoral candidate, a mayor, Pearsall mayor. So a straight mayor, 2 of them. Another council member, House candidate.
Former mayor again.
Bruh.
people
what?
that get in a position a little bit of power and they think they can manipulate that power.
That saying, man, Mama told me that absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's why I think the good guys are scared of pushing to try and be in power to block the bad guys. It's because we're like, we don't want to hold the ring, bro. Like, we know the ring's bad and the ring's going to try and take us over and make us do bad things.
Integrity.
So we're like, nah, I don't want to do that.
They're scared. That means they need to go back through and check their integrity.
But then it's like,
hold strong to it.
You know, not doing that shit's like a power vacuum, dog. And that's why we need to find some like great leaders that are actually going to stand up and take the heat, the responsibility, the notoriety.
Lead the way.
God dang, bro.
You know the way?
Because all the right leaning people I talk to that gripe about this, bro, I'm always like, you know, why didn't you do nothing political? And everybody's like, I got like a life, and you know, like I don't want to, you know.
I want there to be differences, but I don't think it's for me to make the difference.
Yeah,
well, that's where you just shot yourself in the foot and you killed your dreams.
And I got probably way too many skeletons in the closet to run for, you know, candidacy, so I'll just have to be the nerd in the background making all the tech woo-shoo. But, you know, hey, we're getting started with the Truthercast, folks. So, you know, if the Truthercast thing blows up here, I might have some more time to dedicate to trying to aid, you know, local officials in, you know, getting good people elected with like tech and digital marketing skills. And then maybe I could create some kind of a framework system that I could then give away to our other GOP friends across the nation, you know, like that's a bit of a grandiose idea, but that's how they get started, damn it.
I mean, one of the easiest ways is to outsmart them, you know?
Amen. I'm good at that.
Yeah. It's easy because they're not that smart, most of them.
Yes, it is more easy.
Slight dig at him.
Another Trump win as he wins the case. Oh, I think I mixed it up. It's not CNN. It was like MSNBC or ABC, right? He won the case 100% done closed. I think it was like 12 mil. He got him down, or they got Trump down to. But he absolutely won the case of deceptively editing the Kamala Harris tape.
It's the how much did he originally put in the lawsuit for to sue him? I feel like it's
$5 billion, Dan. I'm gonna get all $5 billion.
And then you're down to 12. What is 12 million? It's a drop in a bucket for that.
That is a little bit of a ninny drop down, bro. Yeah.
Like, I mean, a win's a win, but and at least it's millions, but I feel like that just barely even stubs their toe.
CBS isn't doing that great anymore, Dan. So
I mean,
50 million is kind of a lot of money.
I'm hoping it is, but like I would think like it's kind of just a toe stubber. But yeah, no, like if they're doing real bad, that might be more than I think it is. Which hopefully that's the case because they really needed a kick in the ass for it.
And we all actually want a big slap on the wrist, something monetary value, because that's where it hurts them, right?
Yeah.
But at minimum, Trump won. It's always good.
Right, yeah.
He was right. But I feel like there should be some kind of a bigger punishment than just money, because this was like for the effing election, bro. Like this was for like, you know, who's people going to be electing to be an effing president. So like,
I mean, all we can hope is that Trump has, in Trump fashion,
right,
every opportunity in front of the camera he gets. Yeah, so you know how like CBS like purposely edited, you know, it was actually a case if you weren't paying attention, I won. And it proved that they did actually fudge her answer. She was a total clown. Like, so then the bad publicity will at least be on them, and then that might tank them the rest of the way.
Right,
but,
man.
You know, like, do they need to be tanked the rest of the way? I mean, no, if they completely change their game.
You mean went back to what journalism means?
Yeah. But it would be interesting, like, because the only thing that can happen if they do go all the way under is then what, like, we're used to, maybe we're programmed to, there's so many people in the main channels, like that's a main bit right there.
Right.
What happens when it goes? I feel like you got to replace it.
Well, there'll be a back.
And then what does it get replaced with is kind of like, I would rather see them get fixed.
I think
then where we could just go back to normal because they were normal years back.
I think
it was fine.
What could happen is Elon buys CBS, and then it's the America Party Network.
Oh, I mean, see, that wouldn't be too bad.
He was floating around buying them during like the election or some crap. I think, like, I remember that.
Like,
he was playing around, or somebody threw it out there just in the internet where it was like, why doesn't he just
how
buy
about
CBS?
how about no party, but just the American outlet?
Why would we call it an American party? That's the dumbest thing in my humble opinion, by the way, because like, you're in North America, it's called United States of America. Like, come up with a better branding name, dog. Like, you don't call it.
It's a party up in here.
America Party? How about that? Like, bro.
The American Legion's already taken.
If you're not with it, you're not American, dude. Spare me.
Yeah.
Spare me. But this is our good friend Tim Pool. You should definitely be following him on the Rumble or the YouTubes and on the X. But he brought this one to us here about this one.
Bernie trying to deflect on the Rogan podcast. Everything was
that was
so
painful.
Oh,
that was painful. Yo, why would you want to talk about that? Even like, I'm just gonna talk in a circle, and then you don't need to talk about it anymore. And it's the billionaires.
I feel
the billionaires. Why aren't we talking about the billionaires, Rogan?
I feel like it's literally all an act. Like, he is a Hollywood actor, 100%. And nobody realized. Like,
they all are, in my
was
opinion,
a star
at this
actor
point.
back in the day,
Yeah.
and he's just always putting on this act.
We found Zoran at some like acting thing, or he was like on a TV show or some shit, bro. What a coinky dink. So was he on a show, and then he got what's it called? Blah, 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 like AOC at the audition. He got auditioned to then be like promoted and put in place of a politics like AOC was.
Like, you're really good at straight face lying to the people on camera. We got a spot for you.
I mean, acting. I'm sorry. Did I say the quiet part out loud? Like, yeah. So you can bullshit face lie to people on I mean, you can act very well.
You can talk very persuasively in an acting manner. You're just acting. It's just off a script, so you're not lying to them. You're just playing a character.
Can you say this line? The vaccine is 100% safe and will stop the spread entirely. We're not medical professionals here, folks. So like, hey, don't sue me, nobody.
Making actually talking about these being actors. That's making my tinfoil hat thing even harder because
they're all actors, bro.
Well, what did we didn't hear it for some time, and
movie,
then
bro.
did you notice that during especially the COVID times, I never heard the news outlets refer to people as bad actors barely ever before, and then all of a sudden, like every story they were talking about, it was always these bad actors, bad actors. Like, wait, why are you calling them actors all of a sudden? Maybe there is something to it. I mean, they got to put it right in front of our face, right? That's part of the rules. Free will.
Right.
So,
good actor, bad actor.
Maybe that is really part of the game. I mean, Biden was supposed to be behind, allegedly, a green screen Oval Office thing a lot of the time. So
no, not supposedly. It's like 100% proven fact. And we've seen.
I don't have to say allegedly. Okay.
Yeah, we saw what is it? Alina Habba or whatever, the Trump lawyer lady.
Mm-hmm.
She did a little tour of the Biden like fake White House thing. Even as soon as they got in, bro, she was like, "Here, let me give you a tour of Biden's fake White House."
This is what you seen when you thought he was in the Oval Office. Jeez, man. Just painful.
Does it work if I just type words into the magical box thing?
Here, follow Biden.
Finish the show.
No.
Look at the
I
room.
think it worked.
We're in Biden's fake Oval Office, everybody. And I've actually figured this out. I now know why. I now get it. Turn the camera around. There is a screen, teleprompter to the face. All I can say is the last administration was a disgrace. You guys,
I'm really surprised they wouldn't have destroyed that before their way out. I mean, maybe they were just that confident in the election winning, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, now we got kicked out. We don't have the time to do it."
Did you take down the fake I was saying before we left. Oh shit! Wait, I think I left the stove on too. Yeah, you get the point. So do you remember that time that there was thousands of criminal aliens in metal cages in 115-degree weather? Oh yeah, that's right. It was under Joe Biden's administration, and the TV never talked about it.
Yep.
So on the heels of the alligator Alcatraz, our good friend of the show, you should definitely go and follow on YouTube, was highlighting some of the events here at Alligator Alcatraz, but then also reminded us about how they were already trying to say that they're keeping them in inhumane conditions and blah blah blah, even though we got the roofs and the AC and the blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
And so Liberal Hive Mind was doing a comparison here. So it's we make a brand new temporary but solid facility where we got some AC and blah blah blah, and it's decent, good enough for criminals, in my humble opinion. And he was reminding us about how no one was talking about these criminal aliens that were being held in a facility where it was like no one was paying attention, and the sun was beating down on them, and they all had to kind of like curl together in like a little piece of shade, and they had like a mister, but the mister was shooting into like the area where the sun was. And it was 115 degrees out, and it was like all these criminal aliens that were being detained, and it was all under Joe Biden's administration, and you don't hear one effing peep about this. Like, look at this poosly little establishment. Like, what is this, man? Compared to Alligator effing Alcatraz here, that's like a full walk-through
sounds
facility.
Real familiar to when Obama had kids in cages and they all tried saying it was Trump.
Right? It was his whole operation that got all the cages set up and stuff, bro.
Yep.
Trump showed up and said, like, oh, this is the game plan? Okay, so like why aren't we doing more game plan?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
How about we not have the kids in the cages?
Absolutely bonkers, folks. You could also just self-deport.
Yep.
That's the most humane way to get your ass out of here if you committed a crime.
Yeah, you know how you like brought yourself in here? You could like
just
take yourself right back out.
And we'll give you $1,000 if you sign up through the Appy, and then you'll actually be awarded with the opportunity to then re-enter America the correct way and do all the paperwork stuff.
Yeah.
But if they catch your butt and they kick you out, you're banned for life, I hear.
Yep.
It's like, see you later, man. Dan, it's been a few weeks since we talked about 9/11.
Really? A few?
I think.
Has it?
I don't know. Go
I
with
think
it.
it's a weekly occurrence.
This week's, though, I just wanted to make sure no one forgot. I feel like it's been a week or two.
I mean, these people forget if it's not every day.
Maybe we brought it up, but we didn't have like a story piece. So I came across one to just, give us a good reminder here.
I see new 9/11 memes every day.
Why aren't you sharing them in the locals, bro?
A lot of them really probably they're just too wild.
Just too cheeky.
Yeah.
So I said, who do we effing lobby, bro, to get this investigation brought back up during this second Donald Trump presidency, where he's kind of like, running out of F's to give, right? Don't like what many weeks go by without helping remind people. Yeah, don't like many weeks to go by without reminding people that the official 9/11 narrative has got to be a lie. I'm trying to talk myself out of it, dude.
I mean, we always have been. That's why we
trying
keep digging. And then the more and more we dig, the harder it gets to point us in the other direction.
I find it extremely unlikely the high up elite people do not know the absolute truth to this, dude, or believe that these buildings collapsed via just a plane. Okay, so reminder, Donald Trump, like literally when it happened, goes on a little like repeat Donald Trump game of like, can you believe these buildings, they were built inside out. It's the first time ever. They're built from the outside in. It's all steel beams, and it's like, the greatest steel ever. And, that's why the windows are narrow, because they have the steel beams, and like, oh my gosh, blah, 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 blah. So he's like, dude, there's no way that building fell down. They had a bomb in the basement, and it withstood everything. And my guy happened to be the guy that did the engineering on that. So he actually gave me a tour, because I was like, that's unbelievable. So he showed me columns half blown off and blah, blah, blah. And the whole building stood up. And the foundation's the most important damn thing of a building, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
There had to have been bombs like in the plane or something. I don't know. But there's just no way the entire building completely collapses. So like this guy was saying, you weren't misled by accident. You were given a version of truth so rehearsed, so repeated that even doubt started to sound like denial. So the first plane was real, but this collapse completely defies physics, bro. So like small mass up here is allegedly what took out the entire large mass down below. When have you ever had a small rock take out big rock?
Dominoes, man. The small domino totally makes the biggest domino after the ones in between.
Some mental gymnastics like that, right, bro? Like, structural integrities. Actually, no, if you factored in structural integrity, all of the outside in steel cage building of this, bro, probably would not have allowed for this, which is why it was built that way.
The first main thing is like, do people not understand if it like that one hole is at an angle, the other one is taking a giant chunk out?
Fuel.
If anything was to happen to that top piece, it would have sagged over to the one side and then basically fallen off the side of the building or pulled it on toppling over.
Right.
But it goes straight on down.
Right.
It basically, somebody play the song, I'm free falling.
I mean, and then I believe it was also like literally built on purpose, though, to collapse inward, so then it didn't damage other buildings if a plane were to hit it or something. So like, not the entire building, though. Yeah. So then we got the vidya.
What would you have done?
This one not going to load? We'll give it a refresh.
What would you have done?
Hello?
On September the 12th. What would you...
What? Where'd the video?
12th, 2001. What would you have done if you'd been president?
True. Well, that one was like less interesting because it's just, dude, what's his face? The old Jesse Ventura. Now that video is broken, coincidentally. Here's the one of Donald Trump. I love showing. Oh, they're all broken. Except the Jesse Ventura
What would you
one.
have done on... What would you have done on...
That's coincidental.
On September the 12th, 2001. What would you have done if you'd been president?
What would I have done?
Yeah.
I would have done a legitimate investigation to find out what exactly happened on 9/11. How did they know who did this so quickly like they did Lee Harvey Oswald? How quick they knew Lee Harvey Oswald killed Kennedy.
Because the people who did it were identified and we knew who they were.
Well, then why couldn't we have stopped them beforehand if they were identified and we knew who they were?
It was a failure of intelligence. Everyone's accepted
No, it
that.
wasn't. We knew before with Condoleezza Rice's memo on August 6th when it stated right in the memo, bin Laden to steal planes and run them into buildings. And more stuff is coming out now also, how much the Bush administration ignored the intelligence. It was almost like they ignored it because they wanted it to happen.
Oh, come off it, Jesse.
No, not oh, come off it.
I mean, this is the conclusion that a lot of us came to. And he was really big back then, running around, being a conspiracy theorist, breaking everything out. Yeah. I'm not super sold on him being genuine. I can't tell if he's controlled opposition, but he was going around sounding like an Alex Jones there for a long time. He had like a TV show doing it.
Did you watch the TV show?
Nah, I don't like TV
dude, watch it.
It's decent.
You'll think differently about him.
Yeah, sure. But it's a TV show, so it's like all put together. So that's the thing that like sullies it for me.
You don't like when it's well put together, talking about all
It was
this
allowed to be on
conspiracy.
television. That's what I'm skeptical of.
Well, what about all the recent movies that have come out that are about pointing
sure.
out the far left?
For sure.
Yeah. It is
Wait a
still
minute.
free
I don't know
press.
if he had anything like too snappy at the end. I wanted to see these other darn videos. Darn it.
Nope. CIA says you can't do that.
Yeah, bruh, that's always, you get real tinfoil hatty when that happens. Hold on, let me show you this video of 9/11. Video error.
That possibly shows against the narrative.
Video error. Oh no, no, it's broken. Sorry.
Yeah, but the other video that's totally embedded in the code right with these other two totally works.
And that's why I don't trust Ventura. He didn't get censored, so it must be part of the spin narrative.
Oh, people are like, nobody's gonna believe Wacky Ventura. He's just a whack and a hack, just like Alex Jones.
And I think he went off on a tangent or something. Yeah, he was just knocking them out. The moon, the climate change, blah blah blah. But I thought it was a good another reminder of the 9/11 man. It is what activated myself and why we are the Truther Cast, because we're gonna take the Truther word back. Damn it!
I mean, the main thing is just how the heck does a plane that's basically paper mache, when you look at concrete and steel, compared to a very thin aluminum structured piece of equipment, just burrow a hole right through that stuff like butter.
What happens to
when
plane
we
fuselage when it hits a bird? Is the whole plane like completely fall apart?
Plenty of people have seen the plane that runs into that Russian building that's been circulating now, and it has glass windows, and it basically blew up on the outside of it, broke a couple windows. The building was fine.
Right. And it wasn't even built from the outside in with steel beams, because the windows, they're very narrow when you build it like that. If you were there, you remember the windows were very narrow.
Yeah. A lot of concrete, a lot of steel in the way of that plane, yet it just sliced like a hot knife through butter right through that thing. It's
Which, like,
almost
maybe that's possible, but I've watched too many documentaries claiming of the physics of the whole collapsing the entire effing building.
Yeah. Lots of engineers came out and said, like, this makes zero sense. People with architectural backgrounds, how those buildings work.
I mean,
they all said it's very, very unlikely that the building would have done what it did. Oh, and let's not forget about Building 7. That one that's just minding its own business over there, and all of a sudden it's like, oop, I lost my heels, my ankle's twisted, I go down.
And now we found actual clips of firefighters being like, hey, get everyone cleared out of that building. The building's going to be like, taken down here like during the 9/11 event.
Yeah.
Like wild. So like that's allegedly.
There's so many coincidences.
Coincidence after coincidence, which us truthers don't really believe. So if you're here on TikTok, join us over on Rumble for a much higher production value of a show.
And
the words don't get better, but the video and the audio gets better. And the live chat gets better.
And it's on I'm trying to blank on the word.
We got the YouTube, we got the Rumble.
Not shadow banned and not
oh yeah, it ain't big tech censored, bruh.
Yeah, censored. Yeah, that'd be a word that works.
I'm surprised TikTok lets me talk on here, bro.
Yeah.
They did mark it dangerous again though, because it saw me vape. So it's limited to a restricted audience. So if you're watching this right now, you might also be a bad person like us.
I gotta throw some beers back now that we're on TikTok.
Gonna
See
be
if
like,
it marks that as dangerous.
this one's not very like profound or anything, but I found it interesting. Perhaps what your take is on it or something, or it's just an example. I think of like coming to America and then making your kids soft and silly. Now, the kid's a little bit upset in the moment, so maybe he's, not thinking straight. His dad just got arrested and deported. But listen to this kid's logic when he explains how shocked he is at the event that just happened. And let's see if you pick up the same thing that's clear and obvious. That I was like, what? Bring it.
Perez reacting after his father, Gerardo Granados, arrested just before 9 this morning.
Your dad, his immigration status, anything you want to take? Documents and papers to be in the U.S. You want to give him that?
Perez says his father was already outside when immigration and customs enforcement agents came to his home. On video, you can see and hear agents ask Granados a series of questions before handcuffing him, patting him down, and then taking him away. Perez says what hurts is that his father has been in the country for 23 years after leaving Mexico.
You have people who are going to say, your father was undocumented, so the next process would be deportation. What do you say to that?
I said, I understand that, but the whole point of these deportations happening is because of the rise of crime. Somebody who's never committed a crime is now being treated at the same level as a criminal. Like, there should be some separation of process, some due process.
Perez reacting after.
Let Tom Holland give you the update on that. It is illegal to enter the United States.
Yeah.
It is a federal law.
Bro, I'm sorry your daddy's going back to Mexico, okay, dog? Like, I empathize. I know it's a high-stress situation.
Do it.
I know he's been here for 23 years, and you guys thought that everything was cool, fine, and dandy.
The whole America's great is America's the only country that you can slip between the cracks, getting through just living a life, and not get persecuted days after you cross that line illegally. Every other country, they are on your ass.
Bro, Pakistan is like 6 months in prison. Russia is 2 years in like a laboring camp.
Yeah.
And then India is like a year in prison. Like, those are just the three I memorized, man, off the dome. Yeah. And then like every single country has like this many months prison, this many years prison, blah, blah, blah. It's ridiculous.
Korea,
so 23.
North Korea, there is none. You just disappear.
Yeah, no, they just
end
you.
Into the country, and for as far as anybody knows, you're still in that country.
Yep. They just
if you're alive or dead is the only question.
But 23 years is absolutely ridiculous. Like, bro, just do the effing paperwork so you don't get in trouble, bro. Like, so was he just like a brazen person that just running around and was like, screw it? No, he had to been probably like terrified the whole time. But then he had a house and a job and a blah, 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 blah. So, that sucks. But the dude's never coming back to America. So now my question for the son is he going to go live with dad?
Right. And what about him?
Doubt it.
Is he going to have to? Because they're talking about.
He don't look like he worked as hard as his dad, bro.
They're talking about removing the birthright citizenship. So if he has his papers because he was born in America through his dad,
could be removed, bro.
And then he has to go live with dad. And looking at him, he's not going to fend very well in Mexico.
I just thought it was a great example of the delusion thingy with this whole criminal alien thing. It's like, I just don't get why they're arresting him. He has like no crimes. He has no criminal record. I mean, I feel you with like the no egregious crime record.
He's not doing violent crime.
He did like the crime. And then again, I'm told by the ICE head guy and the Trump admin, which I'm biased. I'm pro Trump admin. So I'm biased to believe them. But we're being told they're not just willy-nilly going around and picking up the scrubs, dog.
Yeah, no.
They're like targeting at like more high level, like causing trouble aliens. So
if they,
what I want to know what the dude did then.
If they wanted to just be grabbing people easily just to make their numbers of deportations, just rack the numbers up. They'd just be sitting at all the Home Depots and whatnot all over and
Wait, you don't remember last week?
Grabbing people up and checking
You don't
their
remember last
papers
week?
and then just sending them off.
You don't remember last week? We covered a story where they're at Home Depot.
I mean,
You forgot this one?
were they?
Yeah.
I was saying a thing, and there might have been an occurrence of that, but I just went through it anyway.
But it was a targeted
It's
thing.
not like they're everywhere.
Where they happen to be at Home Depot.
Yeah, I mean, what are the odds of that? A guy that might have done some bad shit was just hanging out with his other homies at home. Hey, dude, anybody that wants to question that and thinks it's me, it's just the facts. It might be stereotypical, but it's the facts.
Like, bro.
It's still in Chicago. I was just a couple weeks ago. Went by the Home Depot. Guess what? I pulled in. I didn't need anything at Home Depot. I pulled in just because I was curious. Because the last time I had been in there was before Trump got elected. Guess what? There's far less people chilling at Home Depot outside, and you can tell. You can tell the ones that are just hanging around looking to pick up some possible side work.
Yeah.
Are you just hanging around the entrances of Home Depot with a backpack and some waters
I think it's a good idea.
And you're looking, anybody. I felt like I was the one ICE was looking for, and those were undercover ICE agents. With how many would just lock eyes on every car that came in and out. Their eyes are on you. Then everywhere you go through the parking lot, in and out. Weird. They watch you hard. Unless I just have the look of an agent, so they're just staring at me. No, all the other cars that
you are white.
Right, yeah, wearing sunglasses and a baseball cap.
No
total agent, you know. Anybody that comes in and out, they are watching hard. It was like that way before. It's like that way now.
Do they look like a landlord?
Just less of them.
They might be a landlord. Do they look like a landlord? Dude, it's good. I know a bunch of American people that bitch about not having a job, and what they should be doing is just hanging out at effing Home Depot and getting a dang job.
I mean, don't
hate the player, hate the game.
I mean, you don't even have to hang out in the sun. That's one way if you're not that smart or have internet access. Because if you have internet access, there's no way you can't find a job.
It's always people don't try.
Even if it's side work like that, people are posting on Marketplace. They need help with projects. Companies are saying we need a guy for the weekend all the time. Craigslist, guess what? Still around. Everybody's still actively posting on that.
Yep.
All the time.
Yep. This one might be good. ICE protesters enter Home Depot and the customers aren't having it. Wait, bro, is the dark-skinned man being racist right now? He's not pro ICE raid stopping things? Is this dude wearing the stupid Palestinian thing at this ICE raid in a Home Depot again?
Oh,
he got the checklist. He got the hive mind ICE raid checklist. I'm marking all my pieces of flair.
I mean,
he forgot the Ukraine flag, or is that what's on the hat, you think?
Well, no, that actually could be an agent. He might just be ex-military because they like guys that were ex-military, and that's actually a popular thing. If you're, generally they would actually wear that piece as
But this is what they were wearing.
What was it called?
This is what they were wearing at the Alligator Alcatraz protest one, so that's where I was like, I think it's going to the protest, got to get all my check boxes for my virtue signaling.
It could be, but he kind of looks like he might just be. It's weird that it's over the shoulders. Just, steel man in a little bit. Could be an agent. He's just my arms was hot, so I used it as a shade because generally they use it as a dust mask over their mouth when they're over in Iraq.
But we
Iran.
watched the video last week with multiple of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we get the point. This guy was like, "Bro, gonna get your ass." What up, Mr. Don on the TikTok? If you like the show, join us over on Rumble, man. Better show.
The
Better
agent
production
was
quality.
like, just please touch me, because then
that,
you'll
bro.
be interfering in assaulting a federal agent. Just try it. See what happens.
Don on TikTok, you got to join us in the Rumble and make sure to tell us that you're not one of our agents. Not letting me lie.
Secret agent man.
Oh, bro,
Secret agent man.
Oh, okay. The computer got taken over by a notification.
Always a notification.
Bro, this is a big one in my humble opinion, because many of us truthers have been screaming about Crossfire Hurricane as long as we knew about it. Like it was almost as it was happening, right? If you're not familiar, reminder: Crossfire Hurricane was the operation of Hillary Clinton, who was running for president, illegally using campaign funds to pay her lawyer to make up the Steele dossier by paying 2 Russian spies, aka Russia collusion, and then to which the Steele dossier was then brought to the FBI head under Barack Obama's administration. And then they were illegally wiretapping Donald Trump as a presidential campaign runner, and then also post-election as a sitting United States president. Okay, so this is what Crossfire Hurricane was called. They made it a real FBI effing operation. Okay, so many of us truthers have been screaming that that was much larger than all other presidential scandals thus far, like Watergate, blah, 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 right? So I am extremely glad that we just had the CIA drop an 8-page doc about furthering the investigation into Crossfire Hurricane. And Rasmussen agrees. Dwarfing Watergate, the Pentagon Papers, etc., etc. So this is a not yet burger, not quite a nothing burger in my humble opinion. It's a little lackluster. It's not a big hullabaloo yet. We all could only hope that this continues to progress here and we get accountability, we get arrests, blah, blah, blah. But, little black pilled on that one, right? None of these ever go anywhere, and nobody important that was being a bad guy ever gets actually arrested. But we have the CIA documents.
Of course, there's redaction.
Of course. Oh, by the way, that minute they took out of that Epstein video, that's just the equivalent of a document redaction. So no big deal.
Just what you all need to see to keep you satisfied, hopefully, where you shut up.
So, micro, but hey, I thought that was something off the path. Definitely not going to hear that in the mainstream news feeds, man. But hopefully something comes of this. I still speculate that the Mar-a-Lago raid was actually because they were kind of freaking out and hoping they could go find those Crossfire Hurricane documents that Trump took from the White House. I think he snagged some documents on that situation to try and cover his ass or work a play or maybe expose it. That's the other thing. A lot of these things I feel like we'll never hear the truth of because it's way more important to leveraging somebody if it's not public yet.
Yep.
As soon as it's public, you ain't got no leverage.
Yep. Hence Epstein list.
Man. Can't blackmail people if it's all out, right? CNN was in my news feed.
Yeah.
From the good liberal hive mind. You see this one?
I've seen this one. Yeah.
This was pretty good. So apparently this is like history making.
I think it was the most popular in 2 decades.
2 decades? Highest approval rating, right?
Yeah.
By popular, you mean?
Yeah.
So this is pretty fun. Take a look at this one. This one was extra entertaining because it's CNN actually admitting things. And this guy actually did a good job. He was happy dappy. He was putting the gusto in, like.
So just take a look at this.
So we're going to look at the strongly approved numbers. So this isn't just Republicans who like Donald Trump. This is Republicans who love Donald Trump. And he's up like a rocket. Look at this. In July 2017, the strongly approved.
Go back to where he starts. Look at her face.
Yeah, she's like,
she looks so
I'm not having
uneasy.
none of it. Yeah.
Numbers. So this isn't just Republicans who like Donald Trump. This is Republicans.
Can't believe he's saying this. You mean the facts, lady?
Who love Donald Trump, and he's up like a rocket. Look at this. In July 2017, the strongly approved was 53%. That's pretty good. But look at where he is now. 63% of Republicans strongly approve of the job that Donald Trump is doing about 5 months into his presidency. 63%. That is a huge, huge base. And of course, it's just part of a Republican base in which about 90% of them overall approve of him, including the somewhat approve. So why don't we look back? We have all the presidents, Republican presidents, going back over the last 35, 36, 37 years. What are we talking about? GOP, who strongly approved 5 months in. Look at this. George H.W. Bush, Bush 41, 46%. Bush 43, 59. You see Trump, the first term, 53. But look at this. 63%. He beats all the other Republicans on the board here. And I was looking even back since Reagan. And get this, Donald Trump beats Ronald Reagan when it comes to the strongly.
That's absolutely bonkers, right?
Yeah.
That's bonkers.
Approved 5 months. And of course, Reagan was coming off that high after that assassination attempt. So the bottom line is Donald Trump is making.
Well, Trump did also have an assassination attempt.
But apparently his was crazier.
Making history with the Republican base. He is more beloved by this Republican base than any Republican base loved any GOP president 5 months in. It is history making. If you're a Republican lawmaker, you see this.
Bro, he's getting into it like he's on our team, bro. I can't believe CNN's letting this stuff roll now, bro.
They're like,
the ratings dropped bad enough, dog. He got desperate.
He's just like, hey, I'm just trying to keep my job here because I know we're going in the shitter. I might as well at least try to keep us going.
Or like he actually is okay with Trump, and they were like, all right, guys, we got to be a little bit more positive about Trump. The numbers are down, and it turns out people like the guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, bro, I can totally do it. I'll be the one.
Yeah. I wonder if it's just
I've been holding in for months.
Right, yeah. I wonder if it was just because his name was longer, they didn't want to edit the width, or they just decided to not put in 45, 47.
Yeah.
63%, you say, my goodness gracious, you do not want to go against Donald Trump because the Republican base is with Donald Trump. And it's not just the polling. We actually have the data to show that the Republican base is with Donald Trump. The times Trump endorsees won the GOP primary for governor and congressional races. Look at this. 2024, 96%. 2022, 95%. 2020, 98%. The bottom line is this.
But he totally lost.
95% plus of the time, the Trump endorsed candidate wins in GOP primaries. And even in the cases where Donald Trump endorses a challenger to an incumbent, the majority of the time, that challenger wins.
Yeah, so much for Trump voter regret.
Right?
Much
for Trump voter regret. Oh.
He even said himself, normally they win. But, you know, on that year of the highest that he was approved, he did not win.
Well, that one wasn't approval. That was candidates that he endorses get elected.
Oh.
So the point there that I would make is if he golden touches people and then the people elect that person, it's difficult to believe there's not enough people to then elect him.
Yeah. Right.
But different scale of elections or whatever one could then try to argue. But, you know, if he has a 98% Midas touch of anybody he endorses, people are like, that's the dude I'm voting for. It's very difficult to believe if the guy ran himself,
yeah,
it wouldn't be a massive turnout for him. Difficult to believe. But I thought that was extra hilarious, folks. CNN's going to get their ratings back
Yeah,
by telling the truth about Donald Trump winning.
Yeah, it might make a small dent. They got a lot of other, recovering to do.
And then that's all I got. And we're back to last week with the crazy communist bastard, who they're still trying to say is not a communist.
He's a socialist Democrat, guys.
He's a Democrat socialist. When
AKA,
then you realize they must not have read any of Lenin's books.
Yeah, AKA one baby step away from full-blown communist.
Because Lenin literally, just like Marx, explains that socialism is only but a shoehorn for communism.
Yep.
Socialism is literally only used in order to bring in communism.
Because you can't just lay communism straight on the people. It doesn't sound good. But if you weaken them a little bit, you get them a little bit convinced, kind of like how Pritzker says certain words and makes certain people think he's gonna make things one way, and then all of a sudden you're finding out it's not quite that way down the road. Then you're like, oh, well, I'm too busy in this, and I'm kind of too beat down in this over here to really give a crap on that. Like, whatever. You're not paying attention, then boom, the wave of communism just slides on in.
Like Obama when he uses ambiguous words to trick you. Like, I'm not lying. I'm going to bring change. Yeah, change. I want change. Change, like socialist healthcare. That's not good for me.
Wait.
I'm super broke.
Free healthcare sounds great. We totally deserve it.
Hey, man.
Or you could figure out how the system works and leverage the system.
I believe
for you.
The only countries, I don't know, like fact check this one. I think it's like countries that have free healthcare or good healthcare, like crazy healthcare programs. None of them spend a lot of money on defense of their country.
Also, they have a stupid high tax rate.
Right, to pay for it and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the system sucks and they got to come to America to get their medical procedures done anyway.
Or they go to Turkey.
Like, or somewhere
like
else,
everybody goes to Turkey for
that's a big one.
Medicals. Oh yeah, dude.
I hear Germany a lot. They like do a lot of like cutting edge stuff there.
Turkey's
I hear they're curing cancer in Germany and Mexico.
Turkey's got a whole bunch of healthcare. They're real big in the hair game, I guess. Yeah, all the baldies are going to Turkey.
Okay,
so
that's why I came up on your feed.
Right, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Anybody watching, just send some bucks in the show, sponsor my trip. Yeah, my plane ticket out to Turkey.
Oh, dude, it is real because the richer Elon Musk got, the more hair grew back on his head somehow. It's a mystery.
I think money is a cure to all things, just like AIDS and the what's his name, the Johnson guy, I think it is. The South Park made the episode on him. Like, how come AIDS doesn't?
Magic Johnson? Yeah.
Magic Johnson, yeah. How come the AIDS isn't getting you? Oh, I can't. I don't know. Can we like walk through your house to see why, like, if there's anything in particular that might be like making it where AIDS isn't hitting you as hard? Yeah, sure. I don't think there's anything you're gonna find. My house is pretty regular. They go into his bedroom, and his bed is sitting on top of an absolute pile of cash. You're just like, what? Like, what is this? He's like, oh yeah, doesn't everybody sleep on about like $350,000? They're like, no. He's like, oh, I thought that was pretty regular. They found out it was concentrated doses of cash is what made the virus scurry away.
Which is essentially true.
Yep, pretty much.
On that topic, we are not medical professionals. Seek a advisor in a professional medical environment. However, I do think this is kind of like, I like to, remind everybody about 9/11 every episode because that's a shtick of ours. Telling everybody about this guy, I think, should be an effing shtick of ours, bro. Because I reached out in the DM. So if you know anybody with cancer that's a loved one, take me serious and communicate with this person, and then find a doctor to communicate with and figure this out, bro. So this William Mackus, MD, allegedly, he's a doctor man, posts all these stories about allegedly curing cancer. And so I wanted to just flick through this real quick since we were talking about it. So you can cure cancer right here, folks. I hear the difficult part is finding the fenbendazole. Apparently that is difficult to find.
Yeah,
but
that's a little more strictly. It's got strict requirements on it being made and distributed.
so the regimen is each person reacts differently to a regimen of these three things: ivermectin, fenbendazole, and mebendazole. But he's got all these people that are allegedly putting testimonials on here, bro. Like this one says, my wife's cousin was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer, which had spread to his liver. Treatment included chemo, but also ivermectin. Dosage sounds like 24 milligrams for 4 days, every 3 days. Post-chemo scan this past Saturday, no sign of cancer at all. So like a little bit of modern medicine, and then, the more holistic approach of trying to rid the body of parasitic problems. Because the theory is like if you get rid of these parasites and all three of them are like a parasite cleanser or something like that, then your body actually does have the ability to fight off cancer. Or maybe with a little bit of help of chemo here,
Yeah, that chemo is just garbage. That is only a thing because it is stupid expensive.
And what's messed up about
people making
chemo,
money off it. And yes, Niltamir, I don't currently watch it, but I'm definitely familiar with Sunny.
Oh, I can't stand that show. I hate that show so bad.
It's whack. But as you were saying,
oh shoot, my chat doesn't jump down to the bottom. Sorry, Niltamir, I didn't notice. You said, have you watched the YouTube with the angry blacksmith that's totally against 9/11 theory? No, I have not. Is that the guy that was doing all the
angry
thermite
blacksmith?
He was doing the thermite tests and trying to show people how like thermite's the only thing that burns enough to melt the steel, kind of thing. And then he did jet fuel, and then it didn't burn the steel or something. He had a couple more on here, bro, but like, God bless. So all I did was DM this dude on X, bro, and they gave me his email to reach out to him. So hit me up in the DMs, and I'll pass that along to you, or just go on X and look up this William Mackus, MD, and reach out and ask how to get a hold of him, and they should respond to you with his email. I don't know if you have to pay this man, bro, but he'll give you like the tips or something, allegedly. But all these people are thanking him for his regimen. He was being attacked legally. What do you know?
Yeah, what do you know? That's why he has to like DM his info. He can't just have people.
New article: ivermectin and mebendazole. 45-year-old Canadian woman with stage 4 breast cancer to the bones reports after 6 months. Started in 2024. I believe the end of it is it's all gone.
Parasites are a huge problem.
So some people say, oh, does that prove that cancer is a parasite? And I think the holistic world's got a little bit off.
No,
and I do agree with
cancer is a disease, which disease is your body at dis-ease, which is generally inflammation, which can come from multiple different factors.
Their arguments are all diseases are parasitic.
Okay.
Right. And so it's like, oh, it's a little bit hard to tell. Is it killing the disease, or is it killing parasites that then allows your body to fight the disease and stop it?
Oh, because like there is.
So we need an actual study of many of this theory. To
Killing, like, see the way it's worded again, like how Pritzker does things. Like, we're gonna specifically talk about something, and it means, but like, killing the disease. I don't think you can like that wouldn't necessarily. It's not killing the disease. You're killing the root cause of something that creates the disease.
Is it viral? Is it bacterial?
Yeah, because the how parasites create disease dis-ease is because they have to shit and piss somewhere. They go to the bathroom just like us. They don't have we don't have porta potties in our bathrooms for them to collect it and then get it out safely and effectively. It goes just into our body,
Right.
and obviously your body does not like well, it's garbage material.
Right.
It's what we can't make any use of anymore. And so if you have a bunch of that just floating around in you and you can't expel it because it's not in the right spots to work its way out of the body, then your body's going to be at disease, aka inflammation. And then when your cells are not happy, basically they have to communicate. And obviously, as we know, if you can't communicate somebody, like there's static in the phone, you don't understand what they're saying, how are you going to know what to do? What they're telling you to do or what you're asking them of what to do. So then your cells basically start mutating into cancer cells, which is just an abnormal cell.
Right.
And then that cell is, since it can actually, it's closer now with itself and the other cell that told it not the right, it heard the message a certain way, which was wrong, but it's going to take those commands, replicate again, because cells replicate. So then the disease just spreads, and so now it's an information battle. Would you look at that? Just
So
kind of
then-
like how everything is in the world.
But then they could
it's
argue
all
that's
battles of
caused by the
information.
parasite.
Right, yeah.
So interesting, right? So whether it's caused by a parasite or not, here's another one, man. Ivermectin fenbendazole, 83-year-old woman with stage 4 breast cancer, which isn't that the highest, bro, is now cancer-free after 7 months. Excuse me? So you don't have to go get a double mastectomy? You can, like, cure cancers? Like, dude. And then there's ones with prostate cancer and blah, blah, blah.
It wouldn't be a.
She was 83.
Well, for her, it wouldn't be a vasectomy. A vasectomy is the clipping of the
No,
nuts.
it's called mastectomy or something like that, right?
Oh, sounded like you said V.
Yeah, but there's a whole bunch of these, bro. Absolutely bonkers. Wait, this is where you buy it? There's a sale? I missed it? It ended yesterday? But yeah, I got a few friends' family with cancer right now, bro. So I was like, hey, try this out.
Yeah, do some parasite cleanses.
That one's like a serious one, right? I do the chill one. Did you ever do that? I think I sent you the doc about it. I made that doc with the parasite cleanse. Like,
Yeah, no, definitely didn't do that one.
okay. I got
some
linkies to buy the
I got some
stuff.
parasite cleansing stuff.
So maybe I just sent you the links or something.
I don't know.
But I think you said you put it off or something like that because you're like,
I mean, I didn't feel at disease, so I wasn't too worried about it.
Sure. We were just doing it
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
preventatively.
preventative maintenance. Yeah.
Slash, does the way I feel be normal? Could it be better if I like parasited cleansed?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've been doing it like once a year or something. We haven't done it this year yet. Maybe we'll do that during our next 75 Hard, September 1st. Any of you truthers out there want to get your shit together, you can join the Accountability Buddy group. Start a 75 Hard September 1st with us. Be a fun time. That's all I got for y'all today. Anything else from the chatters here? Nope. I'm missing out on Always Sunny. I disagree. Charlie is a weasel, annoying, doofus person. Horrible character.
He is hilarious.
I can't stand the show, bro. I tried it so many times because people are like, "No, man, for real, Barbara Girl." I guess can't. It's not my humor. Not my humor. Hate the characters. Not for me.
It's
just not for me.
Stupid, erratic humor.
Let's find something else we both like. We could hang out and watch because I ain't gonna watch.
Missing out.
Well,
they got some pretty good comedy in there.
Thank you very much, folks, for tuning on into another Truther Cast here Thanks for hanging out on the Rumbles, where the home platform is. Our Rumblers definitely be live chatting. So make sure to come back next week and hang out with us again, where we're going to go through that locals and talk about all the things that are important throughout the week that the mainstream media didn't talk about, or, the takes on the things that they talked about, where they left out the lies through obfuscation. And, make sure to, do that free thing.
Click 3 times and share the show. O's.
So then you ain't no ho, man. And, I hope you all had a great 4th of July. Me and Dan are going to wrap this thing up and get on.
All right, got plenty of things to do. Plenty of hungry kittens. Shopping to be had so I can eat.
So
that's pretty much it.
Thank you very much, folks. And we'll see you on the next Truthercast next week. Join that locals.massdash.com. And if you want to sign up for the Primo Squad, better news feed. Save you some money. That keeps the lights on. Peace out, everybody. We got that 2. We got the 1. And then we've got the all right.
All right.
Oh.